5 simple foods could cut your risk of dying from a heart attack by almost half. And if you're over 60, these foods become even more powerful. This isn't opinion, it's backed by some of the largest medical studies ever conducted. Here's the reality right now. 3 out of every 4 people your age have at least one serious risk factor for heart disease. The CDC's 2024 data puts it at 75% of adults over 60 who are at risk. And as we age, diagnosed heart disease climbs from 9% of people aged 55 to 64 up to 14% of those 65 to 74 and nearly 1 in 4 adults over 75. 1 American dies from heart disease every 34 seconds, and last year alone, more than 900,000 Americans lost their lives to it. But here's the good news. Up to 90% of heart disease can be prevented. A study in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that 99% of heart attacks and strokes happen to people who have at least one thing they could have changed. So let's get straight to the 5 foods that can change everything. Number 5, whole grains. Oatmeal, barley, brown rice, and quinoa. Scientists examined 45 different studies covering millions of people, and the results showed 3 servings of whole grains every day cut heart disease by 19%, reduced overall heart problems by 22%, and helped people live longer. A serving means 1 slice of whole wheat bread, a bowl of oatmeal, or a helping of brown rice, and 3 of those daily does the job. Oats and barley contain beta-glucan, a fiber so effective that the FDA approved health claims about it, and studies found it dropped bad cholesterol by about 10 points. Separate research showed whole grains lowered blood pressure by 6 points, which researchers calculated would prevent 40% of stroke deaths. Number 4. Berries. Blueberries, strawberries, and blackberries. The Nurses' Health Study followed 93,600 women for 18 years, and women who ate berries just 3 times a week had 34% fewer heart attacks than women who barely ate any. 3 times a week cut heart attacks by 1/3. Researchers gave blueberry powder to adults aged 65 to 80 every day for 3 months, and their blood vessels worked better, blood pressure came down, and the calculated drop in heart attack and stroke risk was 13%. 1 cup daily works best, or minimum 3 times a week, and fresh or frozen both deliver the same benefits. Wild blueberries pack the most protective compounds, but all berries work. Number 3. Leafy greens. Spinach, kale, and collard greens. A Danish study followed more than 53,000 people for 23 years, and those who ate the most greens had 12% less heart disease, 15% less heart failure, 17% fewer strokes, and 26% fewer circulation problems. Their blood pressure ran 2.5 points lower, and just 1 cup a day was enough. Australian researchers tracked nearly 1,500 older women for over 14 years, and women who got the most vitamin K1 from leafy greens were 43% less likely to die from clogged arteries. 1 cup a day, raw in a salad, or half a cup cooked. If you take blood thinners like warfarin, talk to your doctor first about keeping your intake consistent. Number 2. Nuts, walnuts, and almonds. Research on seniors who ate about 1.5 ounces of walnuts daily for 8 weeks showed better thinking speed and more flexible problem solving, meaning walnuts help keep your mind sharp. A study of 708 people aged 63 to 79 found that eating about half a cup of walnuts daily dropped their bad cholesterol, especially the dangerous small particles that clog arteries, and nobody gained weight. When researchers combined 20 different studies, eating just 1 more ounce of nuts each day meant 29% less heart disease and 22% lower chance of dying from any cause. The FDA even approved a statement saying eating 1 ounce of nuts daily can reduce your risk of heart disease. Almonds protect bones with calcium and magnesium, and research from Tufts University shows they shield brain cells from damage that causes memory decline. 1.5 ounces daily means about 7 to 9 walnut halves or 23 almonds.
And if chewing whole nuts feels tough, sliced almonds or unsweetened almond butter deliver the same benefits. Number 1. Fatty fish. Salmon, mackerel, sardines, and herring. This might be the most powerful heart-protecting food you can eat. A piece of mackerel delivers over 4,500 milligrams of omega-3s, while salmon gives you almost 2,000 milligrams. The VITAL trial studied more than 25,000 people aged 50 and up for 5 years, and people taking omega-3s had 28% fewer heart attacks. For people who didn't eat much fish to begin with, heart attacks dropped by 40%, and among African Americans, heart attacks dropped by 77%. Another study called GISSI Prevenzione looked at people who'd already had one heart attack, and omega-3s cut their chances of dying suddenly from a heart problem by 45%, almost half. The American Heart Association recommends fatty fish twice a week, with each serving about 3.5 ounces, roughly the size of a deck of cards. Bake it or broil it, don't fry it, and stick with salmon, sardines, and trout because they're lower in mercury. Why these foods work together? Each food helps your heart differently. Omega-3s from fish calm inflammation and keep your heartbeat steady. Fiber from nuts and whole grains lowers cholesterol. Nitrates from greens help blood vessels relax. And anthocyanins from berries protect cells from damage. They all support each other. Your body has changed. Your metabolism slows about 0.7% per year after 60, and Duke University found that people in their 90s need 26% fewer calories than someone in middle age. You need less food, but more of certain vitamins, because B12, calcium, vitamin D, and fiber all become more important. Here's the encouraging part. A dietitian at the National Council on Aging put it this way: it's never too late to make these improvements in your diet. Never too late. Your action plan. Fatty fish twice a week, 1.5 ounces of nuts daily, a cup of leafy greens daily, a cup of berries daily, or at least 3 times a week, and 3 servings of whole grains daily. These 5 foods carry the strongest scientific proof for protecting your heart after 60, and studies show they reduce heart attack, stroke, and heart disease death by 22 to 45%. They work especially well for older adults because 3 out of 4 of us already have something putting our hearts at risk. You can start today with no prescription needed and no expensive supplements, just these 5 foods from any grocery store. Not just for living longer, but for living better. If you found this helpful, give it a like and subscribe for more science-backed tips to stay healthy and active as you age. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.